And I got a story. It's from the Upanishads, and it's Agni teaching Brahman. And I'm going to read it. But at the end, it says, if you are not pure of heart, you can't know these truths. So if you aren't pure of heart, fuck off. What that doesn't mean if you're not a virgin, fuck off. It just means if you are an asshole. This is for the seekers of truth. One time I enlightened a man on Deepak Chopra's Twitter thread. I think I enlightened him. I could feel it. I don't know. I just told him that he was trying to say that Brahman is Atman, and he said, "Oh, thank you, I see." But he said it had something to do with this. I had a thread in my brain, and somehow it was mildly related to that time that I posted on a Twitter thread, and so I brought that story up, but I don't really know. Anyway, this is Agni reading or teaching Brahman in the Upanishads. Also, in the story, apparently Brahma came out of the sea, and he's not dreaming Brahman. Instead, he just created Earth, including Brahman. I don't really know Brahman's origin story now, but I really like the idea that we're God's dream. I also really like the idea that we're all in the Matrix. Either one works for me. Or, like, my favorite idea actually is, since the universe is expanding, eventually it'll, like, because of our perception, eventually it will expand to a point where there's just giant aliens looking down on us. Kind of like Divergent, only not like out of this world. Like Divergent, but with aliens. Anyway, keep on bringing up Divergent. I don't know why. It's been a while since I've even read Divergent. I don't know how I remember it. It's just got some cool concepts in it. Anyway, finally, to my teaching. If you aren't of the pure of heart, I'm sure you left already. That's how it related. Because it was something with the pure of heart. Anyway, something that I said was thoughtful or witty, and it came from that thread. Not from me. Which is why I brought up the thread. It's fine. No one's following at this point. I'm just gonna read the fucking story. As the web comes out of the spider and is withdrawn, as plants grow from the soil and hair from the body of man, so springs the universe from the eternal Brahman. Brahman willed that it should be so, and brought forth out of himself the material cause of the universe. From this came the primal energy, and from the primal energy, mind. From mind and the subtle elements, from the subtle elements, the many worlds, and from the acts performed by being in the many worlds, the chain of cause and effect, the reward and punishment of works. Brahman sees all, knows all, he is knowledge itself. Of him are born cosmic intelligence, name, form, and material cause of all created beings and things. I'm not too thrilled that they're still gendering Brahman. It should be it. Finite and transient are the fruits of sacrificial rites. The deluded who regard them as the highest good remain subject to birth and death. Stop being a materialist. Not a you can be a materialist. I'm not against materialist. A materialismist. Living in the abyss of ignorance, yet wise in their own conceit, and deluded go round and round like the blind led by the blind. That's your society, the blind led by the blind. Society of ego worshippers. Living in the abyss of ignorance, the deluded think themselves blessed. That's blessed. Like blessed. Attached to works, they know not God. Works lead them only to heaven, whence to their sorrow, their rewards quickly exhausted, they are flung back to earth. It's basically saying you Bible lovers aren't worshiping God, you're worshiping yourself. Considering religion to be observance of rituals and performance of acts of charity and the deluded remain ignorant of the highest good, having enjoyed in heaven the reward of their good this is difficult today. Good works, they enter again into the world of mortals. But wise, self-controlled, and tranquil souls who are contented in spirit and who practice austerity and meditation and solitude and silence are freed from all impurity and attain by the path of liberation to the immortal and truly existing, the changeless self. That's where I'm at, motherfuckers. Let a man devoted to spiritual life. It's not because I'm pure, it's just because I'm crazy. And I know the truth, so I'm eternal. I'm an Epicurean. Let a man devoted to spiritual life examine carefully the ephemeral nature of such enjoyment, whether here or hereafter, as may be won by good works, and so realize that it is not by works that one gains the eternal. Let him give no thought to transient things, but absorbed in meditation, let him renounce the world. If he would know the eternal, let him humbly approach a guru devoted to Brahman and well versed in the scriptures. I don't need a guru. You don't need a guru either. I'm not no guru. Go be your own guru, okay? You don't need to do anything to your Brahmin. To a disciple who approaches reverently, who is tranquil and self-controlled, the wise teacher gives that knowledge faithfully and without stint, but which is known, the truly existing, the changeless self. The imperishable is the real. As sparks innumerable fly upwards from a blazing fire, so from the depths of the imperishable rise all things. To the depths of the imperishable they in turn descend. Self-luminous is that being and formless. I gotta burp. No, I don't. He dwells within all and without all, within and without. George Harrison. He is unborn, pure, greater than the greatest, without breath, without mind. From him are born breath, mind, the organs of sense, ether, air, fire, water, and the earth, and he binds all these together. Heaven in his head, the stars and moon in his eyes, the four quarters in his ears, yada, yada, yada. He is the world. We get it. We get it. From him springs everything, and everything springs from Brahman. Thus, Brahman is all in all. That part, the springing part, I made up, but we're back to the text now. Thus, Brahman is all in all. All in all is all we are. Kurt Cobain. He is action, knowledge, goodness supreme. To know him, hidden in the lotus of the heart, is to untie the knot of ignorance. Self-luminous is Brahman, ever present in the hearts of all. He is the refuge of all. He is the supreme goal. In him exists all that moves and breathes. In him exists all that is. He is both that which is gross and that which is subtle. Adorable is he, beyond the ken of the senses is he, supreme is he. Attain thou him. You're him. He, the self-luminous, subtler than subtlest, in whom exist all the worlds and all those that live therein. He is the imperishable Brahman. He is the principle of life. He is speech and he is mind. He is real. He is immortal. Attain him, oh my friend. The one goal is to be attained. Attain him now. Affixed to the Upanishad, the bow incomparable, the sharp arrow of devotional worship. Then, with mind absorbed and heart melted in love, draw the arrow and hit the mark, the imperishable Brahman. There was a metaphor earlier where you're like an arrow and you're the arrowhead and you sink into Brahman. That's the target, and he absorbs you. Anyway. Oh, never mind. I just explained the next passage. In him are woven heaven, earth, and sky, together with the mind and all the senses. Know him, the self alone. Give up vain talk. He is the bridge of immortality. Within the lotus of the heart he dwells, where, like the spokes of the wheel in its hub, the nerves meet. Meditate on him as Om. Easily mayest thou cross the sea of darkness. This self who understands all, who knows all, and whose glory is manifest in the universe, lives within the lotus of the heart and the bright throne of Brahman. By the pure in heart is he known. The self exists in man within the lotus of the heart and is the master of his life and his body. With mind illumined by the power of meditation, the wise know him, the blissful, the immortal. The knot of the heart, which is ignorance, is loosed. All doubts are dissolved. All evil effects of deeds are destroyed when he who is both personal and impersonal is realized. In the effulgent lotus of the heart dwells Brahman. He who is passionless and indivisible. He is pure. He is the light of lights. Him the knowers of the self attain. Him the sun does not illumine, nor the moon, nor the stars, nor anything. It's okay. He is the one light that gives light to all. He is shining, everything shines. This immortal Brahman is before, this immortal Brahman is behind, this immortal Brahman is everywhere. Verily, all is Brahman, and Brahman is supreme. Like two birds of golden plumage, inseparable companions, the individual self and the immortal self are perched on the branches of the self-same tree. The former tastes the sweet and bitter of the fruits of the tree. The latter, tasting of neither, calmly observes. It's observing you from the inside. It is you, Brahman. The individual self, deluded by forgetfulness of his identity with the divine self, bewildered by his ego, grieves and is sad. But when he recognizes the worshipful Lord of his own true self and beholds his glory, he grieves no more. So if you want to grieve no more, just figure it out that you're Brahman. When the seer beholds the one, the Lord, the supreme being, then transcending both good and evil and freed from impurities, he unites himself with him. The Lord is the one life shining forth from every creature, seeing him present in all. The wise man is humble, puts not himself forward. His delight is in the self, like capital S, like Brahman. That's why I'm saying I don't have an ego. It's for you guys. His joy is in the self. He serves the Lord in all. Such as he indeed are the true knowers of Brahman. This self is to be realized within the lotus of the heart by continence. I think that's what I don't have. By steadfastness and truth, I got that. By meditation, it depends. And by superconscious vision, I have that. It's called anxiety. Their impurities washed away, the seers realized him. Truth alone succeeds, not untruth. I'm a pathological truther. By truthfulness, the path of felicity is opened up, the path which is taken by the sages, freed from cravings, and which leads them to truth's eternal abode. So I strongly suggest you find truth's eternal abode. It's a fun place to be at. You just always tell the truth, and then it ends up with humor. You can never make a mistake.